Hi, it's Darnell with Wave Recipes, and today I'm going to be cooking up some lemon oat flour cookies in the Calphalon air fryer toaster oven. Oat flour, it doesn't have gluten, and it basically is able to process in most people's bodies better than things like white flour and such. It has a much lower glycemic index, so it usually processes a lot more healthfully for people. And so we're going to be cooking that up right now. So let's go over the ingredients for this cook. I've got 2 cups of oat flour here. I've got a half a teaspoon of sea salt. I've got 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I've got 2 tablespoons of a granulated sweetener. This is a non-sugar granulated sweetener. It's like erythritol and monk fruit, but use what you prefer. I've got the zest of 2 lemons here. I've also got the juice of those 2 lemons there. I've got a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I've got 2 large eggs beaten up here, and I'm also going to be mixing into the wet ingredients 2 tablespoons of honey. And so basically I'm going to get the wet ingredients into this bowl, the dry ingredients all mixed up into that bowl, and I'm also going to spray the bake pan for the cooker with some extra light olive oil so things don't stick. And one other ingredient that I have that I always forget because it's always off to the side is a 1/4 stick of melted butter is here in this pan here. So I'll be mixing that as well in the wet ingredients. Now that I have the wet and dry ingredients in their respective bowls, I'm going to take the wet and get it into the dry bowl and basically get everything all mixed together in the same bowl now. And while getting things mixed together in the same bowl, and then I'm going to basically scoop out, Lord willing, about a dozen cookies into the bake pan, I'll let the cooker start preheating. So I'm turning up to bake, and now that I'm at bake, I'm going to go down to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to adjust the cooking time to 20 minutes. You may not be able to see it. I forgot that I don't have the camera set right, and the light is washing out the display probably anyway. So I'm going to get the light turned off and move the camera a little. Alright, so you can see things well now. 350, 20 minutes on bake, and we hit start. And while things start to preheat, I'm going to continue mixing my cookie dough here in the bowl, and then I'll get my cookies laid out. I will say, as the ingredients get well mixed together, the dough does get pretty thick. So it's a pretty thick dough now. I'm going to go ahead and start using a spoon to help me spoon out my cookies and start basically making up cookie shapes on the bake pan here. So I'm not the best at art, but I'm sure your cookies will look much better than mine. So I'll just go ahead and finish these while things continue to preheat. Alright, so the preheat has finished. I've got my cookies laid out and sticking the pan in. I've got a wire rack on the lower of the 2 rack levels hitting start. I'm going to go ahead and let things cook for a while, and then I'll bring you back. So things have been cooking for 18 minutes now, and I think things look pretty good. There's no pause for this cooker, so I just kind of have to open up, and I'm just going to feel the tops to see. Yeah, they feel like they're done. So with that, we'll stop, and we'll go ahead and start getting these cookies out. See how easily they come off. Oh, coming off very easy. Just gotta make sure that the rack doesn't fall over, but we got one off. Just going to show you the bottom. Bottom looks pretty nice. So just going to go ahead and finish plating these. It would be nice if this cooker had like kind of a halfway or 3/4 stop feature so that your rack wouldn't come too far out, but that's all good anyway. So now that all the cookies are out, can light things up a bit and let you have a good look at them. Let's go ahead and do a taste. So thank God for some lemon oat cookies, and let's do a taste. Now, with oat, you definitely want to have some water handy because, you know, if you don't, then you'll be chewing for a little bit. But they taste good. They turned out pretty good. Things turned out decent. And so, even though oat doesn't have gluten, you do get a nice rise out of those. They rose a little better than I expected, a little more than I expected. So they turned out good. And so, you can make yourself a nice oat flour dessert if you prefer. And everything turns out really good. In the video description, there'll be a link to a printable version of this recipe. Also, a referral link to my Amazon shop where you can get this cooker and lots of other things, pay the same price, help this channel. And also, there's links for things like donations, membership, and such, and merch as well. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share the video with a friend, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification icon, and good eating.